"You're not invited, Emily," my mom snapped, her voice slicing through the room. Everyone froze, eyes darting between us. My heart pounded, the smell of fresh flowers mixing with tension. I clutched my bouquet tighter. I didn't know whether to scream or just run. A hush fell over the guests, broken only by the sharp click of heels. Then a lawyer cleared his throat, holding a thick envelope. "Everyone, you need to see this," he said. "Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm 34. I teach at a small-town school and spend my evenings lost in writing, dreaming of someday owning my little bookstore. In my family, I've always been overlooked, especially next to my younger cousin, the one they always praised. Growing up, I carried a quiet weight, feeling invisible at gatherings, doubting myself and wishing I could be noticed for who I truly was. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect: determination and the ability to plan carefully. I learned to manage stress early, keeping my calm even when my family tried to humiliate me. Each insult I absorbed became a seed for patience, strategy, and resilience. While my relatives thought I was weak or harmless, I was quietly preparing for the moments that mattered. I knew my worth, even if no one else did. I wasn't the loudest or the most celebrated, but I had a steady mind and a plan tucked away, waiting for the right time. If your family has ever made you feel invisible or unworthy, hit subscribe and share your story in the comments. I'm reading every one, and we'll show them our worth together. Click Hype to join this community. You're not alone in this. That morning of my wedding was chaos. My mom, standing tall and sharp, told me I wasn't allowed at the ceremony. Gasps echoed across the room, whispers swirling like a storm. My fiancé's eyes went wide, confusion and panic etched on his face. "Mom, what are you doing?" he whispered, voice tight. Bridesmaids tried to step in, but she waved them off like flies. My friends hovered helplessly, unsure whether to argue or stay silent. The weight of humiliation pressed down on me. I felt exposed, my pride bruised, but somewhere deep inside, my mind began to race. I could see the cracks in her confidence, the moments I could use. Then the lawyer entered, a thick envelope in his hands. Labeled Grandma's Will, it gleamed under the overhead lights. Everyone froze. Even my mom looked startled. I realized that maybe, just maybe, the power had shifted without anyone noticing yet. The reception didn't make it any easier. My cousin strutted around, whispering to guests, ensuring everyone ignored me. "Emily doesn't really matter," she said, loud enough for a few people to hear. My mother rearranged the seating, placing me at the back near strangers, far from the laughter and chatter I had expected. One relative, smirking, made a cutting remark about my teaching salary, drawing forced laughter from others. I could feel my face burning. The embarrassment was heavy, almost suffocating. But I stayed calm. I smiled politely, jotting mental notes of every slight and snide remark. The way they manipulated the room, flaunted their arrogance, it all became fuel. Each whisper against me, each deliberate exclusion, strengthened my resolve. I began to see patterns, vulnerabilities in their arrogance, and I knew that the moment of truth was coming. I kept my composure while letting them think they had already won. What they didn't know was Grandma always believed in me more than anyone in this family. I had a legal copy of her will tucked safely away, a secret inheritance that could change everything. I thought back to her letters, the way she praised my writing, how she had encouraged me to trust my instincts. Every careful plan I'd made, every document she had entrusted to me had led to this moment. The sound of the clock ticking in my small study had never been louder than now, echoing in my mind as I prepared for what was coming. I felt a surge of confidence, knowing that when the time came, I would have the upper hand. The nerves that had gripped me earlier had transformed into a quiet certainty. My mentor, a wise woman I had met through work, had been my guide. She had helped me understand legal details, coached me on keeping my composure, and reminded me to use their arrogance against them. Standing nearby, she whispered reassurance, her calm energy grounding me. Meanwhile, my family grew increasingly sure of their victory. They laughed among themselves, exchanged smug glances, believing I had no card to play. But I had been preparing quietly. I watched, listened, and planned my every move. Their underestimation was my advantage. Every mocking comment, every sideways glance fed my strategy. I visualized the moment when I would finally reveal what they thought they could never see, and the tension in the room tightened around their arrogance. Finally, the lawyer stepped forward, opening Grandma's 27-page will. His voice cut through the murmurs as he read aloud key passages. The room went still as he declared me the sole inheritor of a significant property and a sizable trust. My mother's face turned pale. This, this can't be right, she stammered, voice cracking under the weight of disbelief. My cousin protested, her jealousy spilling into loud, frantic words, but the lawyer remained calm, dismissing their arguments. I stood tall, speaking firmly, asserting my place with confidence. "This is what Grandma wanted," I said, my voice steady. Shock rippled through the guests. Some whispered admiration, others laughed awkwardly. The family's smug expressions fell away, replaced by the realization that they had misjudged me entirely. The power in the room had shifted. Walking away from that wedding, I felt stronger than ever. I was proud, in control, and ready to chart my own path without depending on anyone's approval. My mother and cousin murmured to each other, full of regret, realizing what they had missed. I looked around, breathed in the air, and thought about my future, knowing that my inner strength and careful planning had brought me to this point. I didn't just survive their betrayal, I thrived because I never let it define me. If your family ever tried to erase you or make you feel invisible, you know how painful that is. Share your story below and join our community of people reclaiming their worth. Subscribe for support and inspiration. Click Hype to help this story reach others who faced exclusion and hidden betrayal. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every hype you give this video helps empower someone else. Thank you for being here and for listening. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. If this story touched your heart, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories about resilience, dignity, and quiet justice. Because some lessons don't come with applause. They come with peace.